Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the brand new Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H Figuarts Spy Family Yor Forger, Mother of the Forger family version. I am going to call this the casual Yor because I'm not saying all that again. Very excited to have this particular figure. I really like the previous store. I've been liking a lot of the Spy Family figures in this line, but I've been most excited about this one because while I did like the previous store, we see her a lot more in this particular outfit, so I think a lot more people are going to get a bit more use out of this particular figure. It looks really good. Very excited when they announced it. Let's just jump right into the packaging here. It does say Bandai Namco, the figure in the box, and the contents there. S.H Figuarts, Yor Forger, Mother of the Forger family. Images of the figure on the side as you see there. We also have over there on the left an illustration of her earring. That's pretty cool. You do see where it says Spy Family. It's also the Tamashii Nations quality sticker as well as the Tamashii Nations logo, Bandai logo, and Shop Pro 40. I still don't know what that means. So this is a little bit more of a wide box. You know, this side of the wide side, I guess, is the same, you know, length as what their other figures are, but this one is a little bit wider here, which is interesting. I think she comes with more stuff. You do see S.H Figuarts, Yor Forger, Mother of the Forger family, and the pink and green really worked well together, and you see the figure right there during a certain pose. Same stuff on this side here, but on the bottom, that is going to be hilarious to get those accessories on her. We do also have up here, again, Yor Forger and the image right there on the bottom right of the figure. Now we look on this side here, and you do also see, again, Yor Forger. This time on the bottom left, you have an image, and this is the support website and number for Bandai Spirits. Looking on the back of the packaging here, you see the figure with some of the contents that she comes with. I wish she came with a chair. I wish they would release the chairs, but they have not. And you see Anya with her as well. Down here, it just says ages 15 and up and a barcode in case you need it. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Here's the figure out of the packaging, and if I'm being honest, this might be the best, if you ask me, Spy Family figure that Tamashii Nations has put out. It is fantastic. I didn't know that they were going to do some things with this figure that is being done right now, and I think they went above and beyond here. It's not perfect. It's a little bit of finagling going on here, but it's an awesome figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So we don't have the instruction manual in the box. It is printed on the inside of the box, but we also have the instruction manual online. I'll leave a link to that PDF in the description below, but just a top-down view of all the accessories this figure comes with. It comes with a lot. And we're going to be here for a bit because one of these is a bit complicated, and it's this one right here. This here, it's very interesting what they did. They gave us a separate torso piece so she can sit properly, so her sweater, you know, forms to the seat, and it's very interesting. I like it a lot, and you know, it seems a little complicated at first, but once you mess around with it, it's fine. And all the detailing matches really well with the base body here, so that's really cool. We do have a soft plastic flat piece here, which you're going to need to be moving things around for when you're porting stuff in. And you have the exposed back there. Again, lots of nice wrinkles. Oh, that looks great. So here's the thing. So you're going to see some images and different photos or videos required for this. So it's actually really easy to pop this off. It stays really secure, this you know, torso piece, but it can pop off rather easy still. And then you remove that, and then you have this kind of skeleton type thing going on in here. So the idea, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lift up the soft plastic on the seat piece, and this part is important because the way that some of the stuff is shaped, you do see where the openings underneath, you know, on the bottom side of her torso there, the, you know, holes there are going towards the stomach. There's a bit more excess plastic towards her back. You want to line that up with how the waist piece is from the skeleton part. You'll just fit in, you know, the skeleton part is what I like to call it, I guess, through there, and then you'll also pop the top of her body back on there, and it stays in there rather nice and secure. There's also some small pegs in there that are different sizes, so it secures rather nice. It is a little complicated at first when you get things done, but when everything is done, look here, she's sitting perfectly. And again, I wish we had the Spy Family chairs like actually, you know, in the line, but I do have this 1/12 scale restaurant chair that works here, and you can see that she is sitting rather nice, and I think that they did this super well. Again, you'll need some patience and a little bit of carefulness when you're messing around with it. Okay, so we also have this longer hair piece, which I'm really glad they included. As you see here, you know, she has a little bit of the short bun almost there. Not really a bun because that's more of our you know, her hairstyle with the Thorn Princess. But the long hair here she does have, it looks really great. The long black hair with the waves going on down there. You have her headband with some really nice, like, brownish, almost grayish buttons, I guess, going on. And we have her bangs. These are removable right here, so that way you can pop a face on here, and it's going to be the same way with the base head that she comes with too. And then you'll pop that back in like that. So all that works really well. We do also have the nice faces. So this is a more stern expression, and I'm really digging this one here. It looks really nice. If I can focus up there. The printing on the eyes is great. Very gorgeous. So I do also really like the lip color going on there. The paint is really good. The eyelashes and eye pupils and all that came through nice. And pretty much on every head, including, you know, pretty much all of them, I should just say. Earrings are really nicely painted gold. And, you know, it's not that important. It's kind of hard to see, too. I think the sculpting in the ears can be a little bit more prominent, but I've never really cared about the ears being, like, super duper well sculpted. So there's that. We have Drunk Yor. That is hilarious. Digging that a lot. Very cool to see. This is gonna be hilarious. We do have the blushing there. Her eyes are a little bit. They look a little cockeyed. Not like going off to the right or anything, but like I should say one is slightly more squinting than the other, and that's the nice attention to detail. Lip color again is nice. Earrings going really well. Then we have a really nice close-eyed smile with a little bit of blushing. The printing on the eyelashes and eyebrows looks great. Again, that lip color is great. The earrings come through really nice. Last but not least, an embarrassed shock face with some nice blushing. The lip color again is really good. It kind of blends in with the tongue there, but you can kind of see the separation in there. But the eyes are nicely printed, and again, all the there's like no splotching on the earrings. Like I think a little bit of the gold might be going on to the skin, but you really can't tell. I'm impressed. So sorry if there's a plane above me if you hear that. We're going to move through with the hands. Everything is molded in this color with a little bit of like a base paint coat. I think there might be a tiny bit of like dry brushing to make it look like she has some variation in the skin tone, I guess. That could be the light playing tricks. But these are the kind of fists. Almost every hand, besides, clenched fingers here, you do get paint on the fingernails and thumbnails and all that. I think there's no paint when you see her fingers. So that's a little disappointing, but it is going to be a little bit harder to paint that. But these are kind of like the fists. They're formed in a kind of weird way, but I think she does have fists like this sometimes in the show. We also have these expressive, open, wide hands. You can see with the fingers going on there. There's, a little bit of sculpting, of course, in the palms. And then we do get a lot more fingernail paint going on in there. Again, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm going through it. We do have smaller grips here where the index finger is a little bit more well, actually, they're all sculpted together, but the fingernail, or index finger, I should say, is sticking out more. This is for holding the small wine glass. And I'm just going to go ahead and show that. You can see it is a clear plastic right there. Very nice. We have larger grip hands here, and that is, I'll show off what she holds in a second. You get the fingernail paint on there. On the thumbs too. That is for holding the big wine bottle. Nice printing on this with a dark green, translucent plastic going on. Very nice colors going on in there. We also have these flat hands. She comes with more relaxed hands, but these are more like karate chopped hands. So that's kind of cool to see. Again, fingernail paint. I'll get over the last pair of hands in a second, but I forgot to mention we have two different types of these red droplets for the wine glass. One is just this normal one here. You'll just drop that into the wine glass, and this is more angled to where it's like sloshing around where she's drunk, so that is fun to see. These can be lost very easily, but they are a pretty nice red translucent plastic. Okay, last but not least, because I had no idea this figure was coming with this. This is adorable. She comes with hands to hold Anya's hands, and that is really sweet. And I had no idea she was coming with these. This is really cool. You can see the fingernail paint on, some of those fingernails. I think, no, the ring fingers do have paint on there too. And this is what this looks like when you have Yor holding Anya's hand like that. It looks really good when you get it all done. I am so happy that they included this. She comes with so much stuff. Now, I tried to do a head swap with this previous Yor and the new Yor. The thing is that with this new Yor, when I pop the head off, the head neck peg wants to go with it. And when I pop this one off, you can see the neck peg will stay in there. So you may want to heat this head up a little bit, and you want to be careful with the peg because it's really tight going... Here, I'll even show you. It's really tight when you want to take it off from here. I have not taken it off yet, so I don't know for sure if you can actually head swap here. So just be careful if you want to do that. I do want to show you, though, that the Thorn Princess version, those face plates, you know, that face you're seeing here on the new figure, they are compatible. Even so, the bang pieces, I should say, those are like almost the exact same. I think the one on the previous Yor is a little bit more spread out, but they are the exact same sculpt almost to where they just fit in with each other. So this figure is rather compatible with the previous one, I should say. Okay, now actually looking at Yor, this is such a nice looking figure. She looks like she came right out of the anime. I'm really digging the face printing on the default face we get here. The gray, you know, like the eyes are really nicely done. The lip color there is good too. The bangs, the detail going on there. You do also have the earrings that are also painted once again very nicely. And then we do have her headband piece here. So similar to the long hair version, you do see a little bit of like buttons right there, and there's like white part, a little bit of sculpting around there. It's a little bright. You can kind of see how that's sculpting going on in there. Some sculpted lines. And then you have this red band piece right there, covering up the rest of her hair. And I mentioned it earlier, I forgot there was a bun. It's more of a braid, as you see there, so you do see a difference in that type of hair, like so. It's just a gorgeous looking figure, man. They really captured her well. So here's my first complaint, really. If you notice, I might need to turn it down again. Notice whatever's going on right here on top of her cut, like the sleeves, I should say, around that ball joint in the shoulder. It's like there's these plastic pieces here covering that, because I think what they wanted to do was, I don't really know, like, is this supposed to be skin tone? Because if so, it's kind of distracting and it almost looks like completely white compared to that. But is it supposed to be red as well? Because there's a lot of really bad red splotching right here. So I don't really know what's going on there. I was looking on the box, and I think they're on there, but they're so small I can't tell on the box. And I'm not going to do this. But if you really wanted to, you maybe just want to snip those off if you have a way of, detaching this from the bicep at all, whatever. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can do that. You'll just have to figure out a way to do that. These arms pop out decently. They'll pop back in just as much. So, yeah. That way there's less breakage, I guess. The sweater is done really nice. It does look a little plasticky in some areas, but also, like, right now, looking head on, it's very nicely textured and detailed. I think with certain lighting, it makes it look a little bit more like plastic, but, like, for the most part, it is a really nice, like, it's kind of a glossy red, but right now it looks very much like a matte red. Again, it's probably the lighting in some angles. It's really nicely detailed how they did everything. The bagginess in some areas, there's a little bit more of, like, her shoulders and, like, her arms look a little bit more baggy, kind of like how they're supposed to. It's a bit of a loose fit. And then you have the cuffs here. There's even detailing in those joints there, which, yes, you can see how the joints are a little bit, blocked up and all that. Like, you could tell there are joints in there, but, I mean, the actual detailing, I've seen worse detailing on joints on other SH Figuarts and other domestic figures compared to this. This little tie, this like pink tie right there. Forgot to mention there's like a pink little button on the front there on her chest. It's really nicely done, man. And like how the hemming is done, like in the sculpt department, a little bit of a softer plastic. This is not as pliable because, this has a function. So this is way more pliable than this section right here. But I wanted to mention that. You have the black top right underneath. They did a really great job. One thing I do also want to mention, it may be a little bit hard to see how the relaxed hands are done, but you can see that, these are the relaxed hands, and there's a little bit of fingernail detailing going on there. So yes, she does have wrist swivel, like at the standard Tamashii Nations type. There's a hinge in there. The problem is that it's really tight to where if you want to make it go in and out or up and down, you almost have to place it in a certain angle. So let's say I want to make it go up and down. I have to place it like this, And then it's so tight in there. I mean, it moves easily, but I think there's friction from the hand into that small ball joint. It makes it move. So you'll be forced to go up and down. It's easier to do on this one, I should say, an example, where I can freely do this and go up and down and then make it do in and out. I can't really get it that freely with this one. Again, the range of motion is there. You just have to play around with it a little bit. So let's try to finish up. It's kind of hard. I might have to detach the torso again. But I'm going to give you a quick look at how they actually sculpted the rest of this, because there's not much going on here. It's just, you know, black leggings that they've done. And everything's getting covered by the, everything's getting covered by the sweater. So there's not much reason to go super detailed underneath here. Popping this back on again, just to show you how easily all this can fit back on. And then when you hear a click, sometimes, you know, you may, if you do this over and over again, and maybe it will get looser over time. You can see some wrinkles underneath everything too. But it connects really easily, and then you do have to pull on it a decent bit for it to come off. So the way they secured that is nice. But, you know, there really isn't much else to talk about. The black leggings, you can see it's just a very basic mold, but it's very accurate to how it's done. I will say we have some Figma-esque type stuff going on here where the ball joints are a little too circular on the back of the knees. I don't hate it. I could have done without it, but I think that was the only way they can get proper articulation in there. Last but certainly not least, her boots look great. You have the like side details right there with the lines going down there, and yeah, it gets broken up a little bit with the ball joint right there from the ankles, but you do have nice darker colors of dark brown, almost a grayish going on with the brown. That's what the bottom looks like. Did they miss a painting? I feel like I don't know if it's the lighting or something, but it seems like they're supposed to be gray here and they just missed an entire paint detail. So that's kind of weird. I do also want to mention, it's not super difficult, but because her legs and feet are kind of small, I mean, she's doing it now, but you may want to finagle a bit and try to get her into like wider stances so she could stand properly. Her legs are a little skinny, so sometimes she'll fall over. Articulation is quite nice, a little tight in some areas. Unfortunately, the head, it could be a little bit better of a movement going on there. You did see it was a dumbbell joint earlier. Her head can go down actually pretty decently and stay down too. Side to side rotation. You get this like little pivot going on there. Pretty nice head movement going on. You have ball joints in here, so it can go up and down. You can go all the way around. You can make this rotate like so, if I can do it carefully. I think that's as far out as it wants to go. That's really impressive, actually. You do have the upper arm swivel here. Can these pop out easy? I'm not even going to try to. If I can't easily pop out the arms, then they're not meant to go out. We do have double jointed elbows that bend really well. I did mention the wrist articulation system going on where it's a little bit tight, but you can definitely get it to go in and out or up and down like normal. Okay, so this ball joint section is a little bit tight on mine, I think, with maneuvering some things when I was doing the torso section with the seat. You know, she can, do a ball joint pivot like this, side to side, but that's really tight. So swiveling, there should be some in there. I'm going to have to shock oil that later because that is really tight. But I guess we'll have to pop this up. I just grabbed the whole torso and her ball joint just came out. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see if I can pop back in. Yeah, it pops on it back in really nice. So I guess if you like grab her stomach and then grab the legs, you can kind of rotate it as well. This sweater is definitely going to get in the way, even with the maneuverability they've done to where they have some cuts in here to make it a little bit better. She can kind of split out a little bit more, but you can see just how far it can kind of go before it wants to push back in. I do believe there is a upper thigh swivel, I think, in there. It's kind of hard to find, but if there is an upper thigh swivel, it's not that great going on in there. So it drops down a little bit. Single joint knee bends like that, though. Pretty nice. I think it swivels some. Yeah, that's not much swiveling. You do have an actual rotate. Can you grab the shoe? No, I don't think you can. No. Again, I'm kind of all over the place here. Swiveling here, and then up and down, ankle rocker, and then toe hinge. Forgot to mention there is a bit of a hinge, but all of that stuff in the torso is going to get in the way of this. So this is how far she could bend if she wasn't so hindered. Measuring out the figure and trying not to knock Anya over, she's going to be around 15 centimeters tall, and that is going to put this at about 6 inches there. Now, it's hard to tell, but she is just ever so slightly shorter than last year's version of Yor. It may be the high heels doing it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal how much short she is compared to last year's. She is going to be a little bit shorter than Lloyd there, which is supposed to be accurate. Much taller than Anya, which is also accurate. You do see that she is going to be a little bit shorter than the standard size Marvel Legends figure, and because I had him laying around, I do have the S.H. Figuarts Aoi Toto there to give you a size comparison with other lines. Overall, I am really impressed with this figure. I knew I was going to like it, but I didn't know as much as this because I was expecting some complicated things with the seat portion, you know, with her sitting down. And it actually works well when you get some practice with it a couple times. She comes with so much stuff, so many different faces and hands, perfect for this particular version of Yor. The wine glass stuff is really great too. And the fact that they also gave us accessories so she can hold Anya's hand is also really a nice touch. Articulation is mostly great too. The slightest bit of shock oil, and I was able to get some more movement out of the ball joint of the upper torso. I do think that whatever's going on with like the weird shoulder pieces on, you know, around her sweater is a little weird, but that's really not that big of a complaint. I have very little problems with this particular figure besides some of the range of motion getting cut off from that soft plastic sweater piece, which is to be expected. I am really happy with this figure. If you've been waiting for a version of Yor like this, don't miss out on it. It is really awesome. They're 2 for 2 with some of these recent releases. Toto and Yor here are fantastic to where, you know, I was talking crap about Tamashii Nations in the Zoro review, but they really stepped it up with these 2 figures. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.